So I got this old faulty DMG Game Boy on eBay. Cosmetically, it's in very nice shape, save for some bumps here on the lower right side. Also, the screen bezel was loose, so I just pulled it off. We'll reattach it later. But first, let's test it. So as you can see, we have the 4 AA batteries in, and the Game Boy shows no signs of life. Even spinning the batteries don't get the Game Boy turning on, so let's take a look at the battery contacts. It looks like there's some corrosion on the right terminal. Most likely the previous owner left batteries in that leaked and damaged the contacts, but don't worry, that's an easy fix. So let's see if we can get this Game Boy started at all. Here we have an official DMG AC adapter, Nintendo branded and rated at 6 volts. Good news! Using the AC adapter, we were able to get the Game Boy running. So the problem is those battery contacts. Let's go ahead and start working. So to take apart the Game Boy, we need to take out the 6 tri-wing screws on the back. The screws are located here. Once the 2 halves are separated, we can see that there are actually 2 circuit boards in here, and we need to remove the screws located here. Then the boards will be released from the housing, and we can clean and repair it. Also, I'm going to take this opportunity to get the SpongeBob remote working. It has the same problems as the DMG, so it'll be easy. One of the corroded contacts is soldered to the rear circuit board of the Game Boy. We'll just heat up the solder and remove the contact. We should also remember to clean up any excess solder on the board using a desoldering braid. It'll make reinstallation much easier. This will soak up solder like a sponge and leave the board clean. As for the front motherboard, let's use a cotton swab and some rubbing alcohol to clean the copper contacts where the buttons are. Let's do the same for the button membranes. The black circles have a shiny texture that we need to make look more like a flat black. The black circles are a conductive material that short the pads on the board and tell the CPU that a button is being pressed. It's important that they're clean, and let's also clean the screen with the same method, rubbing alcohol and cotton swabs. So now let's head to the sink. We filled it with some warm soapy water to let the case and the buttons soak. Let's toss in the buttons, the back housing, SpongeBob remote housing, and the front half of the shell. But first, let's try and remove some old glue from the front housing using some nail polish. This is 100% acetone and can damage the plastic, so be careful when doing this. Now let's clean the battery contacts. Let's put the corroded contacts in a glass cup and submerge them in some white vinegar. This will break down the corrosion and make the contacts clean. Just don't soak them for too long, otherwise you risk damaging the conductive chrome coating on the terminals. If you see bubbling, then that means it's working. Now let's just go ahead and clean everything. I use a sponge and an old toothbrush. Just lightly scrub the plastic while being careful not to damage it. Also, make sure this is a toothbrush you don't plan on using again in your mouth, because that would be gross. When they're all clean, go ahead and lay them out on a towel for a few hours to dry. It's very important that they're fully dry before reassembly. While they dry, let's go ahead and resolder the battery contact onto the rear circuit board. As you can see, I kinda struggled here trying to put it back on. However, I got it after another attempt. It's pretty challenging to do this and film at the same time, I've realized. So now let's go ahead and reassemble the Game Boy. Make sure you don't forget that power button though. Once everything's screwed back in, reconnect the ribbon cable, and we'll screw the two halves of the housing together. But then that leaves a problem with the bezel that fell off. We'll just use some spray-on adhesive that I got from the store. The plan of attack here is, we'll cover the clear part of the bezel on the underside that's closest to the screen. I'll leave the gray parts exposed so that I can spray the entire inside part and not get any adhesive through the clear part. Also, don't forget the part where the power LED shines through. So once I'm satisfied with the layer of adhesive, I'll use my tweezers to remove the tape on the underside of the bezel, and then I'll lay it into the groove that holds it still. Before the adhesive fully sets, I'll just use a Q-tip and clean any of the excess. So how about we test this bitch, huh? Alright, and now we have a fully functional Game Boy DMG that I can use to play all of my old Game Boy games, but I have like 5 of these, so I'll either just sell this one or put it on the shelf with the rest. I don't know if the SpongeBob remote works exactly yet, because the TV it came with also doesn't work. I mean, maybe I'll get it working. Maybe Zoidberg will get it working, and then maybe he'll film it, and maybe you watch, why not? That was my Zoidberg impression. For some reason, why'd I put that in?